You don't remember the exact moment it happened, because nothing dramatic took place. No argument, no goodbye, no final conversation. You just stopped explaining yourself. For a long time, you believed being understood was your responsibility. You explained your choices, your feelings, your silence. You explained why you were tired, why you said no, why you changed, why you needed space. And every explanation felt reasonable, polite, necessary. Until one day, it didn't. You started noticing something. The more you explained, the more tired you became. Not because people disagreed, but because they never really listened. Some people weren't confused. They were just uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with your boundaries, with your growth, with the fact that you no longer fit the version of you they preferred. So you kept talking, clarifying, softening your words, adding details, hoping that this time they would understand. But understanding never came. Instead, you felt smaller, more careful, more distant from yourself. That's when you realized something quietly important. People who want to understand you don't need long explanations. And people who don't will never be satisfied, no matter how clearly you speak. The moment didn't arrive with confidence. It arrived with exhaustion. You were tired of defending decisions that already cost you peace. Tired of justifying growth to people who benefited from your silence. So you stopped, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of honesty. You answered questions with fewer words. You chose silence where explanations used to live. You let pauses replace apologies. At first, it felt wrong. You felt rude, cold, selfish. Because when you're used to over-explaining, clarity feels like cruelty. You questioned yourself, wondered if you were changing too much, if you were becoming someone unrecognizable. But slowly, something shifted. Your body relaxed. Your thoughts became clearer. Your days felt lighter. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped carrying conversations that were never meant to be yours. You learned that not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every silence requires translation. Some people will call this distance. Others will call it confidence. But you knew the truth. It was peace. You weren't closing doors. You were closing explanations. And there's a quiet difference. You didn't stop caring. You stopped overextending. You didn't become cold. You became clear. And clarity has a way of revealing things. Who listens? Who respects? Who only stayed as long as you were easy to explain. One day, you looked back and realized the moment you stopped explaining yourself was the moment you finally returned to yourself. Not everyone understood, but the right people didn't need you to, and that was enough. This was the quiet lesson.